Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh, and I've got elbow patches on my new sweater. I like the sweater, it's kind of nice. But I want to thank you guys for being here today. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very, very old family vlogger, OG, Shaycarl and Roman Atwood. They did a podcast together, and I've been building up my file on Shaycarl and just the whole thing because I know I'm late to the game. But people have been asking me about my take on the whole thing, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not saying I'm fresh or new to the tea, but I'll give you what my opinion is on this thing because Shaycarl is literally one of the first OG family vloggers that made this shit popular. So thanks, Carl, you asshole. Roman Atwood, we've done a video on him a long time ago, talked about their shit. All these people are shit. If you exploited your children, you're all shit. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people still like Shaycarl and all that kind of stuff because they harken it back to their time and it's nostalgic for them. Don't get it twisted, everybody. Shaycarl is a disgusting piece of shit, okay, for what he did to his wife. And like he had the biggest following ever. He had the most beautiful wife, still does, you know, and just threw it all away because he wanted to text some sex worker. Great. Imagine throwing everything away because you just can't keep your digital dick in your pants, moron. Anyway, the more I go down the path, the more I'm like, oh my God, these people were so good at being so pure and so real and so raw and like giving you the family goods and all that stuff. But in the back end, you just know that it was all wrong and all fake and all disgusting, right? And that's everybody. Don't ever get it twisted. What you see on camera from family vloggers is not the truth, all right? Okay, I'm already getting started. Let's go. So if you're new to the Dad Challenge Podcast, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. If you want to support this channel, you can head over to Ko-Fi, buy me a coffee. You can also head over to Teespring, buy a t-shirt or a sweater or a swear pillow or whatever. Some great merch over there. Or join this channel or join my Patreon. You get on the wheel of fun and you can win a prize. It's all good. So thanks for being here. Also hit this like button and hit the subscribe button, or don't. I don't care. Like button, I care. Subscribe. I care, but not. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Not trying to be like that. Anyway. So Roman Atwood has on Disgustoid Shaycarl to talk about life. And this is a very long, it's an hour and 26, so I don't think I'm going to get through this whole thing in one episode. I might have to cut it in two. This is going to be so long. I hate these super long ones, but you guys tend to like them. So let's go through it because it's very interesting. I know a little bit about each family, but overall the scheme is apparently he answers some questions in here that are really, really important. So let's go through this shitty vlog, shall we? I'm sure it's going to be good.
Podcast. Hold on, I'm gonna try this real quick. Just get comfortable, dude. Get comfortable. We've got Shaycarl in the house and his wife Colette.
Hey.
I've got my wife here, Brittany, and this is our first double date episode. I've been wanting to do this with a couple for a while.
Nice mics though.
We're sitting here with one of the OGs, dude. I know I've been called an OG, but you are an OG. I'm way after you. What year did you actually start all this?
I mean, we started the channel in 2006, and
That's when YouTube started?
Yeah.
You were that early?
I mean, I remember...
You sly dog.
Let him talk! Roman, you asshole.
Dang.
I was working at a granite countertop shop, and I remember seeing The Purchase, where Google bought YouTube. And I'm like, these three dudes just sold this little idea they had for $1.6 billion or whatever. And I'm
now it's worth like $1 trillion.
making $13 an hour making granite countertops. I'm like, I want to do something like that. Mm-hmm. But we didn't start making daily vlogs till 2009, March 2009. But before that, we were doing little skits. I was wearing my wife's unitard, dancing around the living room.
Naturally.
You guys were such an inspiration. 2000.
Such an inspiration. Hear this, guys. I know. And to these guys, to Roman and to the other people who do make a living doing this, yeah, they are an inspiration. This is what you guys need to hear. This is why it gets perpetuated, right? Oh, he's making millions? Okay, now I'm going to vlog my family and I'm going to make millions. This is why this works, because it's all about money. None of these people are digitally like documenting their childhoods and all that shit. They're not doing that. They are there to make money. That is all this is about. It is not about anything else. Not about showing you shit, about like raising awareness. It's none of that shit. It's all about money. Always has been. And so when these dumbass morons make a ton of money by doing stupid shit, other people who are dumbass morons are going to do the same thing. That's why influencer culture is so dangerous. It can be good for certain things, but so bad when you perpetuate disgusting people, allowing them to do what they want by exploiting their children and then letting other people think, well, that's what I'm going to do too, because they think it's not wrong. They honestly think it's okay because look how much money they're making. Okay, so did child traffickers make that kind of money? The mafia makes that kind of money. Does that make it okay? No, it doesn't.
9.
That's the year I graduated.
That's the year I
Really? From high school?
That's when we started our YouTube channel. So you guys were already 3 years deep into the YouTube world.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's when we started daily vlogging, and that changed everything for us. Because at first it was like, we were just making, our first check. I saw your video the other day. It's like your first check you get, it's like a couple $100. I'm like, whoa, you can actually, that's grocery money. I'm like, if we can make $180, what if we could make $1,800 a month?
Yeah, again, I'm glad they're being honest about this because it is all about the money. You didn't hear him say, oh, yeah, we were just digitally, documenting our life. No, hey, I made some money. Okay, how am I going to make some more money? Okay. Oh, man, my video of my kid getting their teeth out on video. Oh, got millions. Did I make 40 grand off that video? Oh, my God, I'm going to do that more. Oh, my God, this video of my kid in the bathtub shaving their legs. Oh, yeah. So this is what happens, right? They get a big chunk of money. You're like, oh, my God. I did this too. When my first check came in from YouTube, from covering the Micah situation, my check was way bigger than that. And I was literally scared that I was like, is this real? Is this real? And I didn't expect it at all. I had no idea of that world, okay? But then you start going as a YouTuber, and I'll be real. There are family vlogs I cover that I know will get me more views, okay? But at least I still have the end goal in mind, right? I just have the benefit of having the end goal and getting paid to do it, right? But these people are like, okay, that's very telling. Because like, okay, how can we make more? What can we do to make more? What kind of other fakery can we do to make more? That's it. It's all about making more. I'm glad he's being honest.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
I still remember, like, after the first month of daily vlogs, looking at our AdSense and being like, Colette, get in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, look. She's like, is that how much we're going to make? I'm like, I think so.
That's exactly what it's like.
Estimated amount. It's always the exact.
CPMs on Google Ad Rev. Yeah.
But it wasn't just about that. It was like, wait, I love...
Colette's then joining in because Colette is probably the other half that didn't really want to do all this stuff. Usually it's the dad that doesn't want to do all this stuff, but I get the vibe that Colette was like, okay, as soon as the money started rolling, she's like, okay. But then obviously if you look down the line and you ask Colette, was it really worth it? Do you think it was worth it for all that fame and shit to go to your head and your husband to cheat on you and all that kind of stuff? Was that worth it? That your family now, anywhere they go in the world, everybody knows who they are and knows what their dad did to their mom and all the fake shit. Is that really worth it? But now she's going to chime in and say, well, it's also about the memories
of doing this, and I'm actually able to make money doing it. That was the kicker for me.
Oh, okay. She didn't. Okay, good.
Because my dad hated what he did. And I always felt bad for him. So every time Shay was like, let's try this, let's do this. I'm like, okay, whatever makes you happy.
It's bothering me because she doesn't talk loud enough into this microphone. They don't have her gain up high enough. And so they have to put a gate on her microphone, like a hard gate, because you don't hear any background noise when she's talking because they have to gain up her mic so hard. But because there's so much background noise, they gate it, if you guys were wondering.
I want you to do.
So granite countertops, what were you doing at the time?
I was staying at home with the kids and I worked at the gym. I was a fitness instructor teaching spin and kickboxing and things. And then once I had the kids, it was like...
Why is every family vlogger mom always like an instructor of some kind? Well, I was teaching kids how to sharpen pencils, then I just became a thing. It's usually fitness too. It's kind of funny.
They'll need to make some money, so I babysat. I run a little daycare out of my house.
But you also
probably illegally
still worked at a jewelry store. She sold jewelry too.
I did. That was when we only had one kid.
Okay, so you got a wide range of stuff going on.
Is that what a wide... Okay.
Totally.
Awesome. And at what point were you able to quit everything, both of you, and focus on the...
I'm going to say it. I don't know. After the first month of full ad revenue.
Vlogs.
When we started doing dailies.
That's when it just... It does surpass pretty quickly.
Yeah. It was like we were making just a little bit. I was running my own granite countertop business. We had just had our third...
You were working for the granite countertop business. What was it, buddy?
Kid. We just had Emmy. And I, was doing this YouTube grind. And I'm like, what if... At that time, everybody was starting a second channel. It was like, you can't upload too much on your main channel or you're going to, your audience is going to hate you. So it's like, you got to start a second channel. Now that's for all the other content. So I said, what if I made a video every single day for the last year of my 20s? Like I kind of went through this pre-midlife crisis where I'm like, I'm going to be 30 years old.
And then he went through another midlife crisis when he was like, oh, this girl with big boobs is texting me. Let's do this.
What could I do to celebrate this last 365 days of me being a 20-year-old? So the day I turned 29, I had this idea, and I said, let's make a video every single day this year.
And all of your friends said, no, you're going to kill your audience. They don't want to see you every day. You're going to destroy your audience.
This was before daily vlogging.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody, I mean, not that there was...
This is wrong because people will come. You will grow really fast. If you guys are wondering how to get really successful on YouTube, it's daily content. It really is. Good daily. Sorry, erase that. Doesn't have to be good. Because look at all these people Dr. He does it, everybody. Their content is shit, and they're almost up at 1 million subscribers almost, okay? So it doesn't matter if your content's good. If you just hit the algorithm properly by putting daily content together, you will be successful on YouTube and TikTok and all the other places. Daily, daily, daily. Because it'll end up on someone's front page eventually. My freaking milk jug video there, bag milk video, almost 1.4 million views on that right now. That's crazy. That is nuts because people are like, oh, I didn't even know that was you. It just showed up on my front page. Daily content is key.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Have you deleted old videos? Like, have you gone back and said, I don't like that, I'm taking it down?
Yeah, man, I used to do some crazy sketch comedy, and I love...
What he's about to tell you here is I used to tell racist jokes. That's why he deleted that shit.
Still to this day, it's like that's who I was at the time. But yeah, we removed a lot of stuff. I think I wish I didn't almost. Like,
I'm sure you don't wish you did. You're glad you got it in time before the cancel mob came around. That's, it is good or bad for whatever it is. But he's telling you he had some comedy that would have got him canceled today is what happened.
Everything's still on the internet, right?
Right.
It's like it's pointless for me to delete them. But it was kind of like I was in a place where I was, it's not who I am anymore.
Yeah.
I'm focused.
That's interesting. I wonder what it is.
On my family now.
If you're okay with it, why is it not who you are now?
So that
again, someone's got some videos on Roman Atwood that's gonna be bad. That's all I'm hearing here.
That's why we did it. But look at like where I'm at now. Just let it rock, dude.
Yeah, go for it, bro. She's like, I'm too big to be canceled. Is what he just said.
It's your story. That's what I always kind of thought. It's like that's just part of the fabric of my life.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna cut this, but this is so interesting, guys, and not like in an entertainment way, but like in a way that we can see behind the scenes of how family vlogs are run. This is really, really interesting, guys. It's going to be a 2-parter for sure, so make sure you know that. I'm not going to do the whole entire thing. I'll do it part 2 tomorrow.
Part of the evolution.
Yeah, it helps create your tomorrow, whoever you are today. It's like building tomorrow.
This guy knows what this guy did, right? Whoever you are today, tomorrow makes you better. You know what this guy did, right? Here's some text messages and shit. If you want to just see, I don't know if you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know. He knew. Again, likely Roman and these other guys who run these things likely have the same type of histories. And again, some of them, and I'm saying this, some of them, not all of them, but some of them just stay together for the business. They're not actually truly married anymore. So it's just business. So they stay together for business. Because would you? If you're making millions upon millions upon millions of dollars a year, would you sell your dignity to stay on and just be in a fake marriage? Would you? Because it happens. I wouldn't. But other people would.
So
that's what I always try to do when I get stressed out or I get in my head. It's you try to zoom out and look at the timeline of your life. It's like, where have I been? Where am I going? Where do I want to go?
Yeah.
And I think it's good to like embrace those things that maybe you're not proud of or you're not. Yeah, you're allowed to not be the same person that you were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This is, okay, what they're doing here is really interesting because they're like saying, hey, for all those people that come find our old stuff, that want to cancel us today for the old stuff, we're not that anymore. You know what? You are that. The thing is you are. Because those early vlogs are who you truly were because you actually didn't understand what you were putting out into the world. You didn't see the eyes that were going to be on it. And that was actually probably the truer you than when you became famous and successful. The people that you see after they become highly successful is completely different because they now know they have to be careful what they say, what they put out there, all this kind of stuff. It's all fake, right? So it's very, very telling that these guys are trying to sit here and saying, oh yeah, all that stuff we have that's bad, that's just not us anymore. I don't believe you. You're probably worse.
Okay to evolve and to change.
Yeah. I love this girl told us one time, she was just like breaking down like we're in a really rough time in our life. And she was like, if you looked at your life in the future as a timeline, this super rough patch is like this little red mark. That's
yeah. I'm looking up if Roman Atwood cheated on his wife. Oh. Roman Atwood was cheated on by his ex-wife Shanna Riley. He was cheated on. So maybe he didn't. He was so Roman gets the heat for being the most appalling prankster on YouTube. He was a big prankster. Did some craziness. So his cancellation or his downfall came because of he over pranked people.
On this whole timeline helps put you into perspective of like how this is very temporary. Like this moment you're in, this depression, whatever it is, it's very temporary. If you could just see your life as a timeline, be like one little speck.
These guys oiling each other up for their own massages, okay? You know, it's just this thing that we did, this super shitty thing that we did. It's just that. It's just this tiny thing. You think that's a tiny thing to your wife there, Shaycarl? You think that's just some tiny little blip on her radar? Yeah, it's that. If anything, guys, this is one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. They're just kind of like diminishing the shit that they did, all the badness they did, and boiling it down to just a moment. So it's not a big deal. It's just a moment. Yeah, well, people who do shitty things like murder other people and are other people and take advantage of other people, that's just a shitty little blip moment in some people's lives too. Is it still bad? Yeah, it is. What you've done is bad. Don't diminish what you've done. Own it. Then people like me won't come after you. Own your shit, you a-holes.
Is that new James Webb telescope where it's like we're seeing these galaxies upon galaxies, and they're like, is there life? Is there extraterrestrial life? They're like, yes, of course. There's like probably
Shaycarl, is there any? Can we sext them? Just wondering. I'm just asking for a friend.
100% chance of it now.
You know what drives me nuts about that?
Aliens?
First of all, fascinated with the idea of aliens and outer space. And
Okay, get on with the shit.
Okay, so you created all this while raising children, which is even more inspiring for us because we, got kids too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that in itself.
This guy's fallen on his head a lot of times, right? Like, he used to like be a BMXer or something. Like there's problems, right? It's like there's some rattling when he shakes his head.
Is a whole nother teeter-totter of balance and the daily vlogs for us now, the kids are watching them constantly. They're walking in the house. I'm like, oh God, my voice, dude. And I hear my voice and it's like, then I'm like, oh my God, I remember this. Yeah. I remember when we went there, and it's like this crazy.
Cue the thing. So glad we recorded this shit for memories.
On video. And I can't wait to watch them when I'm an old man.
I know. I think about that all
See these videos is what got me canceled.
the time. Like in 30 years from now, when you just sit down late at night once, and just like, oh my heck, look at it's all right there.
And all your kids get to watch you.
Yeah.
And then they're like, let's type in Dad's name on YouTube. Oh my God, Dad, what did you do? Every person that your kid now is going to be involved with in a relationship or friendship with or whatever, they all know what your dad did. Your future wife, future husband, future in-laws, they're all going to be able to Google Shaycarl and be like, ew, your dad's a nasty piece of work. We don't want him here. He doesn't go here.
Tell me how you created Maker. Like, this is a big one.
Yeah.
This is a big one, and this was also another example of you being ahead of the curve.
So when I first started, making YouTube videos, I made friends with some of the early OGs, I guess, Lisa Nova, Philip DeFranco, Cassim G, the like, Charles Trippy, all these folks. I just seen a lot of people that I just, have known for 15 years or so now.
Notice how all his friends that he's known are all people who are on YouTube or exploit their children. Notice that. Notice it. Because they all walk in the same circles. And they're not really friends with each other. They're just leeching off each other.
So the way that Maker started is we had a brand deal that was for this movie that they were supposed to get a bunch of YouTubers together to promote this movie. So I flew out to Los Angeles, stayed with Danny Diamond and Lisa at their house, and we just all worked on each other's.
You guys are wondering what Maker is? I'm just Googling it. He sold Maker Studios to Disney for $675 million.
We had this idea as we were, working on this brand deal. It's like, what if we got together and started a business where we just help each other make content, and then we can push to each other's audiences, and it's like, we'll promote you, you promote me.
This is the beginning of MCNs too, multi-channel networks, which, by the way, I would like to point out, and I won't tell you who told me this, but the famous We Agency that has people like Jess Pham, Sunkissed Butt Crumbs, Brittany and Baby. They've got so many disgusting. They're like one of the main perpetrators of this shitty stuff that you watch. Apparently, they're not paying their bills. And there might be a lawsuit or some kind of thing happening with We Agency. Just so you're wondering. It's by this agency called Created. And Created owns We Agency. And look at Created stock. Just collapsed. So I would like to point out that We Agency is falling apart. Because family vlogging in general is falling apart. Guys, this is a moment for Victory Lap. And I'll do a video about it another day. But I just wanted to point that out because it just came to me real quick. So thank the Lord.
And then we just all rise together. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and at the time we started a channel together. It was called The Station, and it was one of, I think at the time, the fastest channel to hit 1 million subscribers at the time. You know, it was like 1 million subscribers, but that was getting pushed from Shane Dawson, Philip DeFranco, Cassim, me, Lisa Nova, Dave Days. All these people were all pushing into this one channel. And by everybody pouring into that one cup, it overfilled and poured out to all of us, you know? So it was literally like a real collaboration where I helped all these people. And after 4 or 5 years, I mean, we moved to LA. We lived in Idaho. We have
They all moved to LA.
5 kids, as you mentioned.
What? You've ever been to LA? I've been to LA. Why the hell would you want to move to LA? I guess if you're rich, living in LA is good. If you're not rich, living in LA is garbage. Just saying. I've never lived there, but I've been. Okay, if I was loaded like these people, like Roman and all these people, just live like Roman doesn't know how. Like, own a ranch. Get a ranch. Imagine how happy you'd be with just a ranch. Safely out on a ranch somewhere. That's what I'd do. I'd have horses and shit. I wouldn't want to live in the city with a bunch of gross people. No thanks.
Earlier, we moved out to Los Angeles, moved the family out there, and just started this company.
And for context, we were talking about, like, when we first started making money on YouTube, like, we were just barely making money.
Yeah.
And Shay's like, hey, babe, want to move to LA? I'm like, do I?
Red flag alert. Oh, we should move to LA on being broke. That sounds fun.
I don't know.
Bless your heart.
Didn't you use you had like a sponsorship and you used that money to get to LA, right? I think I remember you telling me this. And I've heard, like, I don't know if you've ever talked about this, but I've heard like 1,500 different numbers that Shaycarl walked away with.
Oh my gosh.
and then once you sold Maker, it's like, I didn't see Shaycarl that much anymore.
Would you? That's because, again, it's really telling. They made all the money they're ever going to need to make, and he's like, I don't want to be on this anymore. I think if I was a multi-millionaire, like say I won the lottery tomorrow, would you see me on here a lot? You still would actually see me on here. I very much enjoy this. I probably wouldn't do daily content, but dang, I would absolutely be on here more. I do. I think if I was even richer, I would use my wealth in order to bring these people down even more.
Like, this dude's
We moved back to Idaho. Thanks, LA.
Thanks, A1. Thanks, A1. Thanks, us.
I mean, we kept making stuff, but it was,
of course.
I mean, it changed our lives.
Yeah.
You know, but it didn't in a way. Because the day that the deal was done, like, I never believed it. I was like, you know, the executives were there. There were other bids from other companies. And it was just like a dream come true of a dream I never knew I even had.
So a dream come true meaning I just won the definite lottery, which is a dream come true for a lot of people. But remember, guys, and let this be a lesson to you. Let Shaycarl be a lesson to you. Money. It will not bring you what you actually want, because when you are wealthy, and again, there's like videos out there about winning a lottery and getting tons of money. It's really, really not good and safe for anybody because you become someone different. But money doesn't do that for you. What it does is it makes you not want for anything, and then you want what you can't have.
Build up a company and then you get this.
Sell it to Disney, you know.
Right.
And so the day that it all went through, after all the paperwork and signing everything, and just, I mean, it was months and months and months. Like,
So how much did you walk away with?
$100,000.
He's not going to tell you.
More than 10 mil.
Are we gonna say this?
You don't have to say the same number. Upper 10.
I'll say it was sufficient.
I'm so nervous, dude. We're talking years ago.
It was sufficient for our needs at the time.
At the time, what were your needs? Jets and buying islands?
It was
Epstein Island?
More
money than we'd ever seen.
Think it's more than it is.
It wasn't.
You know what?
So it wasn't 675 million. Okay.
I've heard 1,000. That's what I'm asking you.
It's less than 10 million.
Oh, okay. So why is the website saying 675 million? Still, that's a lot of damn money.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less than 10.
Yeah, we earn more.
But that's not much for these guys, because if you look at Shaycarl's channel has 1.16 million subscribers alone. That's his personal channel and has 359 million views, which is 8 figures there, okay? Shaytards have 4.8 million subscribers and they have 2.8 billion views. And likely they've deleted, I'm not kidding you, probably 1 billion views anyway. So they've made, my gosh, I wonder if I can just do quick math on that. So these people have made even more than selling Maker. They've made tens of millions of dollars on YouTube alone. Tens of millions. Okay, that's the truth. And that's just AdSense, everybody. It has nothing to do with all their, like, A1 steak sauce, ad revenue, all that stuff. These people don't get it. They are probably worth in the $50 to $60 million range. No joke.
Than 20 million, so.
No, I've heard she made $30 million.
Yeah.
She made $29 million.
I mean, that was... I want to keep the it could have been more. I can't remember. She does all the books.
I know.
No, it's fair. Okay, so...
Penny, no, just kidding.
And then the odd thing as an outsider is, what did Disney do with Maker?
Destroy them.
It just...
Yeah, they did.
Was
They
Maker
took us out.
purchased to just remove this potential threat?
Well,
I don't know
That's a
what I
theory.
can.
It's true. This is what, and I think I talked about this a little bit. Tyson's entering into the music industry. He's working with an artist. We're heading to Texas soon to work with an artist that he's really excited to work with. I'm really excited about Tyson's. I didn't think it was going to happen, to be honest with you, because the music industry is very, very fickle and it's very rare. But Tyson is doing really good things right now. Big things. I'm very proud of him. His music is getting attention. He's working with artists. Anyway, all that to say is the music industry does the exact same thing. So all these big industries, what they do is they buy smaller industries. I'll use the music industry because I know how it works. Okay, so this is what happens in the music industry. If you are an artist and you are good, right? And you are in direct competition with a label's major artist and you're better than that major label artist, okay? What they'll do is they'll sign you to a contract, okay? And then they own you. That's how these record labels work. He talked about Charles Trippie. Go ask Charles Trippie. Charles Trippie plays in a band called We the Kings. It's a pretty big deal. Okay, they had a couple of big hits and they still tour and they did Warped Tour and all that kind of stuff. The issue is what they do is that you get signed and you're so excited about being the signed artist, but what they do is called shelving you. They'll shelve you, meaning they'll say you're not putting any music out. You can't even put music out even if you wanted to because you owe us this much money for the signing bonus. Because all these artists get this money, they spend it and then they owe it back to the label like tenfold. So if an artist gets signed and they sell 10 million records, right? They owe they only see 10% of that entire whole thing because they get an advance, which they owe back plus interest, and they only see 10% of the revenue until they pay back all the advance. So the biggest artists in the world are the only ones who really actually get massively paid. And you can measure that on the head of a needle. Okay, we're talking the major artists here in the radio and all the stuff that's pushed out there. Those are the major artists that make money because they've overcome that first initial loan. But I'll go back to the shelving. What these companies do is they buy the one in direct competition, they shelve it, they take you out of the market so they own the market. It should be illegal, by the way, because they've ruined a lot of people's lives by doing that. I know an artist specifically who I love. And he was tied to a major label like this and he can't release music. I hope he can now, but he couldn't release music for 10 years because he was shelved. Isn't that nuts? So that's what they did. Probably better off anyway because Disney, I don't know, Disney's just as bad.
Say or how much I should say.
Yeah, I don't
but in hindsight, I think that.
I think that too.
Yeah.
Like they got
Obviously, because it's not there anymore, dumbasses.
the money to just
yeah, you kids be quiet over here. You're getting too much attention.
Imagine paying someone $10 million and that's nothing for Disney to be like, okay, well, just get them off the market. Here's $10 million. Okay, bye.
It's like if we release this new soda.
So, and he probably had to sign an agreement saying he wouldn't do it again with other artists, with other creators, right? Don't do it again. Don't do it again. So you sign this, say, yeah, we'll do this. We'll buy this for 10 million, but we don't want you going out and do it again. Because if I were that person, I'd be like, no, you can buy this company. I'm going to go start another one. Do the exact same damn thing because I know the formula. But why didn't he do it again? Interesting.
That's killing it. Well,
Yeah.
Pepsi will just buy us and ditch it so that they remain on the shelf, right?
Yep.
So maybe that was the move.
If I had to go back, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I love Disney for the record. Love Disney.
Oh, come on.
It just
Yeah, well, you should. They paid you $10 million. I would love Disney too. I would.
Come on, get over it.
Oh, come on, Little Mermaid. Come on.
I think I love
Daddy, I love him.
Disney
Why is she even here? She doesn't even go here.
from the 90s. I love Disney
love
now. I'm like,
Disney,
yeah.
Disney is just wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid. I feel like they'll kill us if we say bad things. Can Disney do that?
I don't know. Are they connected to Hillary Clinton in any way? I am not going to off myself.
Oh, no, cut that part out. Bob Iger, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Jake Paul's on our side.
Shaycarl
If
calls
Disney
out
comes at us.
calls out Disney's.
No, but
Shaycarl
really,
versus Disney.
we were disappointed in how they took it. Like they didn't continue
didn't
the
carry
vision.
on.
They didn't
Well-
carry on the vision.
Well, it almost doesn't
vision.
matter because you
Yeah.
created this baby and you sold it, and which is, most people start a company for that reason. They want to sell it one day, and sounds like you.
And watch it grow still.
I have a company that I can't. Doesn't seem to be doing anything because I'm not really working with it. If you're wondering what the company's called, it's called Bromark Cards. You can go over to Instagram and like it on there. My card company is cards for dudes to dudes. And I actually think it's a good idea. And a lot of people who I've talked about think it's a good idea. I just need someone who's business savvy to come along and help me. So if you know someone out there who's interested in investing in this company, which I think is a hit, I think it's going to be a hit. I honestly do. And someone wants to help me with that, join me in Bromark Cards. And the tagline is even sick. I'm sorry. The tagline is sick. You don't have to say a lot to say a lot. Like, right? Because you open the card and you open it. It'll say on the front, it'll say bro or dude or whatever, right? Just one tiny little phrase in little black ink. That's it. It's super simple, minimalist. And you open it up and it'll say something like thanks or HBD. That's it. Because guys, it's just a different world, and people are like, oh, it's toxic. I don't care. I like that guys can be that way. It's fostering the bromance. So if you're interested, someone out there is really business savvy, who really wants to get into that with me, you holler at me. I'm open to suggestions because I think it's a really good idea. Sorry, I digress.
You made $100 million, and you.
I want to say that was great. Like the day that we got the money in the bank, I'll tell you this. Like the day that
Did it all hit at once?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Colette calls me, and I was like out running or something. She's like, hey, that money came in. And I'm like, it did? I'm like, how much? And I'm like, are you serious?
Imagine the big wet tax bite they took out of his ass for that. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's why rich people, they can hire like really, really, really good accountants, and they find ways to like save all their money. All the rest of us plebs have to pay taxes.
She's like, yeah. I'm like,
Pack your bags, babe.
well, no. Then we're like, what's for dinner?
Because they're already millionaires. What's another 10 million to people who already make millions a year, right? Like if I make $200,000 a year, right, and I win $5,000, right, it's actually not going to be as exciting. I'll be like, oh, cool, but it's not like if I was making $25,000 a year and I win $5,000 and it can change my life, right? If you're already rich, getting a ton of money is just like, okay. That's why they're so bored with life, because eventually you have so much money you don't know what to do with it all, and then you start, finding weird hobbies. Epstein. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. You start finding shit you shouldn't be doing.
She's like, I'm making teriyaki chicken.
Because that was probably dragged out for a
We
long
had
time.
this
Huh?
moment of like gratitude, because that's what, we make it a point to just be grateful for everything that we get. And then it was just
Really?
like, okay, well, what's next? Like, what's for dinner?
By the way, this is a long timeline we're talking about. This is years of grinding, years of sacrifice from the children,
Sacrifice. Oh, okay.
moving to a different city. This is
Yeah. Go back to that. Sacrifice for the children for what? For what? You were onto it. Yeah, moving, all that kind of stuff, being famous. Oh, yeah. Their privacy? Is that one of them? Right? All the shit that you gave out about your kids, the pranking, all that kind of stuff. Are you talking about? Yeah, it's a huge sacrifice to the and again, they're not going to harp on this because to them, that's the most detrimental idea today. Back when Shaycarl started, this shit wasn't a big deal. No one was talking about child exploitation like they are now. Right? We're looking at this from hindsight. We're looking behind us and saying, oh, it's terrible. He didn't know. They didn't realize. Nobody really realized until the past 2.5 years. This thing is exploding now because that's the topic now. But you look back and they don't want to talk about it because the most detrimental thing to their whole existence is the fact that their kids are the ones who suffer through all the shit. Their kids will continue to suffer through all the shit. Their kids will be always on these platforms for everybody to consume.
This is not like you guys just got a fat check. This
Yeah,
is
it
a
wasn't
serious,
overnight.
hard work, business building ethics that became success. For everybody listening,
It's
like
No. Shaycarl got lucky. Stop saying people on YouTube are like business builder extraordinaires. The guy was cutting concrete. Okay? No. YouTube, and I'll say this to the end of time, there are some people that don't get lucky on YouTube that did it and like strategically knew they were going to make it and they did it. But for the rest of the people like family vloggers and everybody else, it's getting lucky. That's it. That luck turns into then connecting with Jake Paul or connecting with other creators. It's luck. It's all it is. And then you learn the algorithm, you learn how it works, you learn how to manipulate it, and then you can harness it. That's all from that one moment of luck. So stop saying this grind is bullshit. It's such a lie.
there's a massive sacrifice here that nobody will ever see or understand.
Oh, we understand it now.
Yeah.
Even as daily vlog.
But what's your sacrifice? What are you sacrificing? I hope you get into that. What are you sacrificing? We already talked about what the kids sacrifice without their informed consent. But what are you sacrificing?
It's like we still constantly are like, how did we ever do that?
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Do what?
I still don't know. So you're when does YouTube slow down? Because we have quit YouTube before. We've taken breaks. We've you guys obviously took a break. Was that after payday, or you wrote it for a while and then you were like, you know what, we could just chill for a while? Like, what's the next step? Like, where'd you guys go?
We took some time off.
Started skiing a lot.
I started skiing a lot.
What's up, guys?
I mean,
Welcome.
the elephant in the room is that we really had a struggle with our relationship. Like we had a situation.
Oh, did you? Roman Atwood vlogs, they are still up. They have 5 billion views, more than Shaycarl. So they still do daily. They do videos like once a week, I think. They're not doing too much, but they do a bunch.
That was some poor decisions that I made.
Was there relationship issues before that? Or no? You guys were solid.
I mean,
Yes. Yes, there was. If your whole life is literally built on a lie in front of a camera, yes. Yes, there is.
We've always been solid, but I mean, every
Yeah.
relationship has issues.
Whoa,
Right.
bud. Whoa.
I'm shaking my head yes, and he's like, no.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't even know I'm here.
What are your issues?
We don't even fart around each other. Are we even together?
See,
What are
it's
you
pent all
doing?
up, man. You gotta let that out or it's gonna explode.
We even
I love how they're just like, he started the question, shit just got real weird, and now they're like, funny. Oh my God, here we go. I'm going to hash this out again.
married. Yeah, so I mean, that probably is the big elephant, and I don't know how much you've spoke on this.
We haven't.
haven't.
I mean,
You haven't.
Yeah.
I've made a video.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are exclusive here with Shaycarl and Colette on their relationship status.
He's made videos.
We're tight now.
After this commercial break.
Prime by Jake and Logan Paul.
So I remember all this going down. It was like sheer panic on the internet.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, dude, with the internet, you don't even know what's happening, right?
Yeah.
What? It was all over the internet what was happening, but with the internet, you don't know what's happening. What? What did you just say?
So I don't know how
This
deep
got real awkward.
you want to go, but what happened? Because
Like, they knew they were going to be asked this question. They wouldn't come to the podcast without it.
like now it's been years. You guys are together.
Yeah.
You're together. Well, you think? What else are they going to do?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. See that look? And if my wife ever did this to me, there would be no trust ever again. If I ever did this to my wife, same thing. I would not expect to be forgiven. I would hang my head in shame and walk away from that. I wouldn't, like, these people, again, when money's involved, it's just crazy how little people have dignity for anything. Just like, look at Melania Trump. I know there's going to be a lot of Trump lovers in here, but really, you think that she's happy in a marriage like that? You think so? Right? These people who stay together for like political reasons or for money reasons, that's your dignity that you've given away. And that sounds very victim blaming at all. I'm saying, but you have the choice to make, especially in a situation where you have been wronged, and you could walk away and be happy because we know you're not happy. That's the look right there.
So I'll say my piece, and I've thought about this a million times because what happened at the time brought a lot of shame on me. You know, like,
Yeah, good. You deserve it.
and I don't want to like rehash all of the details and stuff, but when we moved back after selling, Maker, and we got back to Idaho, I feel like I lost purpose.
This guy, all you really need to do here, Shaycarl, let me give you some advice, and I know he's not going to, is say, you know what? I am an asshole. I am a twat. I did the wrongest thing any husband could do to his wife. And we have since gone to counseling and done the things we needed to do. The end. But what you're about to hear is this guy make excuses for what he did.
Because, when you're growing up, you kind of have these expectations of like, what do I want to accomplish in my life? And I remember,
Is one of them chatting with a sex worker? Okay.
growing up as a kid, like, my friend's dad would take us out water skiing. And I remember as a kid, like, I want to have a boat to be able to take my friends and my kids' friends out. I want to be able to have these material
He's literally shaking in his voice, guys. You think this shit is solved?
things so that I can give people these experiences. I had this really great scout leader who we'd go out on his RV and he would just let us take his jet skis. I'm like, this is such a cool guy. I want to be like that when I grow up. And so when we sold Maker and, we'd made good money just off of our YouTube videos, I kind of got, and this sounds crazy, but I kind of hit this place where it was like, I achieved everything that I ever imagined that I could achieve. And then I hit this wall of like, and now what? It's like, What do I just keep making more money? Do I keep like, what is the point of all of this? Am I fulfilled? Like, and that's really when I started to feel this existential crisis of like, what happens after we die? Like, what is the point of this life? I know like we are faithful in our church and we're,
He's Mormon.
really involved in our church community. But I struggled with alcohol. And so,
Which is a huge no-no in the Mormon church.
I made some poor decisions one night when I was intoxicated. And
Nope, you don't get to do this. You don't get to say here, I was drunk, and so I did it when I was drunk. You don't get to do this, everybody, because it diminishes what you did. All you do is take responsibility for what you did. Because your wife gets to hear this every single time you have to explain it to somebody. Oh, he was drunk? Oh, he was just drunk? So not only were you an alcoholic drunk douchebag, but you cheated on her, and you're like, it's because I was drunk. Are you kidding me right now? Again, now that they're Mormon, now that I know that they're Mormon, it kind of makes sense that she would, maybe that's why she let him back into life. Because if they are true Mormons, if they actually truly believe that shit, that's really important for her, because if she gets divorced, she's on an island by herself in the afterlife, right? That's not, if they truly believe what the Mormon church says to believe, that's why she's with him.
Those messages came out on the internet. And we were talking about this on the flight here, and I want to thank some of my good friends, because the day that it happened, when that happened and those messages became public,
he must have almost had a heart attack.
I was the worst day of my life. You know,
Really?
Imagine everybody you've ever known and cared about knowing the very worst thing that you've ever done.
And these people make a living showing you themselves, right? Right? They make a living doing it.
Like your biggest, deepest, darkest secret that you don't want anybody to know, not even like your closest friend.
Yeah.
It's like you're so ashamed inside. Now imagine your grandma, your kids' friends,
Or
your
church
mom,
members,
your church members.
that sounds bad.
You know, that all of these.
Are they just like literally just ass grabbing each other? Being, yeah, your church. Yeah. Dude, you did this, man. Are you crazy? You did this. Imagine they're more focusing on who knows. Roman should have stopped and here. Hey, buddy, you're friends and everything, but this is on you, bro. This is something you did, bro. Don't ever blame alcohol for your shitty decisions.
People that you know, they think you're a certain way, and then you.
The issue too is likely that wasn't the first time it ever happened. He probably did that and then just went. He's probably been doing it for a while. So I'm telling you guys. Like, and just this is the only one that got out. Maybe they did. He had millions upon millions upon millions. Like, not in the 10s and 20s, 30s millions. Easily could have paid people off and had them sign NDAs. Sort of like Austin McBroom. Rich people can just hire lawyers to do whatever they want. And people faced with a check for $30,000 to shut their mouth will likely take it. Okay? They'll take it. Because that's $30,000. In the end, they could have told their story and whistleblown and not make any money, or they can make $30,000 and sign an NDA. Imagine how many NDAs these people have.
Made this horrible thing, this horrible decision, and now everybody knows about it. And I could have crawled under a mountain.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was, and I tried to. Like, I escaped. Like, that night when that came out, I want to give a shout out to my good friends. Philip DeFranco was there. Cassim G was there. Chaim Ron was there. Ronald Erickson. I had some of my other friends.
You guys shaking.
Derek and Danny were there.
This shit ain't over. I can't even imagine what's going through her brain right now. I can't even imagine it. Just the sheer, utter disrespect for what you're doing right now with your wife sitting right next to you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Anyways, we had an apartment in LA, and I kind of just lost it, and I
Interesting.
threw my phone, I punched a mirror, and I just walked out of the apartment.
Okay, your reaction to being caught was getting angry, punching mirrors, throwing your phone?
And they're all just sitting there, and they thought I just needed to get some steam off and walk out.
They didn't know that this has come out yet.
No, they did.
Okay,
we were all sitting there talking about it.
Got it.
You-
Talking about it, aka, how do I mitigate this disaster? What do I do? What do I do? Will you guys make videos about this? Will you guys support me? So you got Phil DeFranco there, sitting there, supporting your ass. If they're friends with you, Shaycarl, they're also friends with your wife. And they're all sitting there supporting you.
No, and I'm just like, what do I do? I'm so embarrassed. I'm so ashamed. What have I done to my family? Like,
call out none of these
my
were coming
poor
out yet?
wife. She did, because I told her before they became public.
Cool.
Okay, so it looks like someone was reaching out for a comment. Actually, I think it was, what's his face? The weirdo guy with the beard. What was his name? I forget his name, but he's the one who dropped the T. Probably reached out to him for a comment, and so he said, no comment, calls his wife right away.
Cool.
Like, after it happened, I was like, babe, I got to tell you something.
Yeah, no, I don't believe this. You tell me you told her after or before, like you, or when you got caught?
Like, something happened the other night, and I'm really embarrassed about it. So she knew before I didn't know they were going to become public.
Yeah.
You know, but I told.
This here, I don't care. Allegedly, shall say it. That's a lie. That's a bullshit lie.
So that was, like my.
You're already trying to deal with all of
my
that.
angel of a wife.
Yeah, dude.
To
No, she's an angel. Okay.
put her through that and to that embarrassment, and there's nothing I can say but own up to it. It was my fault.
Then why did you start the whole conversation with that? He had this preamble for about 10 minutes about how it wasn't like it's all everything else. All these mitigating. I just made $10 million. Oh my God. I was drinking. Oh my God. I don't know what to do. Shut up. This is what you should have started it with. You idiot.
I did a horrible thing, and I spent the last 5 years trying to rebuild our relationship with my kids, with my mom and dad, with my wife. And it's been hard. It's been a struggle.
Oh, it's been a struggle. Fuck off. I can't believe people are like give these guys platforms and like spout this bullshit. Like I understand that there's grace for everybody, there's understanding at the same time, but like, does that sound like somebody who actually feels sorry for what he did, or does he feel sorry for that he got caught? Right? I'm telling you, these types of people, that's not the first time this has ever happened. Like, look at the conversation. And we're going to cover it in a video. The text messages are so explicit. That's not someone who just doesn't do that all the time unless he does it with his wife, which I highly doubt the Mormon wife does stuff like that. This is why Mormons and fundamental Christianity is so dangerous to the world, because they put such a high price on virginity and purity and everything else that these men and women, they just are pent up with everything and they're shamed into it all. And then they break their families to do shit like this. It's so dangerous.
Yeah, was the messages, was it just the messages? That's it.
Yes.
And it was
I never even met this person.
Yeah.
Never met this person.
Oh, that's okay then. It's just messages. What is she? What are you mad at him about? What are you kidding me right now? What is Roman? You're such a prick.
It was DMs.
It's like you're drinking, you're DMing.
Yeah. Don't. It's like he's laughing. Oh, yeah, it's just normal shit. What that screams to me, Roman, is that you do this too.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
And this was,
I thought it was blown way out of proportion.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Why don't you ask her what she thinks? Because she's the one that's wrong. Why don't you ask the kids what they think? Roman thinks it was blown out of proportion. Oh, okay, well, okay then. Diminish everything that you guys felt then. No problem. What?
I was like, yeah, he sent some, as an outsider, I'm like, yeah, he sent some messages, but dude, like.
Don't you dare.
It doesn't seem like it's as bad as everyone's making it sound.
yeah.
Read these messages. Is this as bad as everybody makes it sound? Are you serious? Are you kidding me? If your husband or your wife did this with somebody else, is that bad? Would you consider that bad? Look at him diminishing this. Why is he just sitting here blowing smoke up this guy's ass? Like, I get you want to be his friend, buddy. You're pick me, Shaycarl. But at the cost of looking like this, you're an asshole.
Right? But it sounds like it was just horrible.
If you don't think that's a big deal, likely you've done something like that too then. Because that to me is a big deal.
I mean, yeah. I don't want to minimize what I did by saying, but
after I minimized it for 10 minutes, I don't want to minimize it. Okay, got it. Understood. People listen to their own words ever?
I've had a lot of my buddies say that. They're like, dude, you just sent a girl some dirty messages at 3 a.m. when
show me the wife's face here. Why aren't we asking her?
You're drunk. Like, what's the big deal? I'm like, yeah, but
it's not who you are.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not, eh? It is, because it is. You don't get to say the words, oh, it's not who I am. It is who you are, because you did the thing. Am I going crazy here? Why are these people here glad handling this topic? You had an opportunity here, Shay, to say, look, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I've built my marriage back to where I need it to be. I've done my shit. I've done the counseling. I've done everything. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Instead, you just literally, it's just a bunch of sex messages with some bimbo on the internet with huge boobs. No worries. Look. Okay, Roman, that makes you look like a complete jackass. Holy shit, man. I can't believe I'm hearing this.
Completely normal for plenty of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not for us.
It's not normal for, and it's not, don't say that it's normal for plenty of people, because it's not normal for any people. It's not normal. Don't normalize this. It's not normal.
Us. Right.
I mean, and not to say that like, I would never, because everybody has their weaknesses. Everybody has breakdowns. Everybody has low moments. Everybody makes mistakes. Like, it's common
our own mistakes.
Yeah, our own mistakes. That's the only way we grow. That's the only way we learn. And we've talked about this. Like,
if the only way to grow in your marriage is to cheat on your spouse, I have news for you. That's dumb, and I hate you for saying that. Again, this guy, you guys, I know we're all talking about somebody who has an infallible moment, right? But let's not forget that these are influencers with millions of fans and billions of views sitting in here, influencing their fans with this rhetoric. Oh, it's not a big deal. All the guys listening to this shit are like, oh, yeah, it's normal? Okay, well, then I'm going to do that. It's not normal. Don't do this. If your wife wouldn't be cool with it, maybe ask her, hey, what would happen if I sexted a bimbo sex worker on the internet? What would happen? Ask them what they think, not the dude. Okay? Because it's all about, if your wife is cool with it, then okay, that's two consenting adults doing what they're consenting to do. But it sounds like he didn't ask his wife. That's what I'm telling you. You guys I cannot believe what we're seeing. If you guys want to understand what toxic masculinity and patriarchy looks like, you're staring at it right in the face. This is what it looks like. It's the diminishing of the act because it's a dude who did it. And even the Mormon church, he'd get off scot-free, but if she did it, she wouldn't be off scot-free. Okay? It's crazy what you're watching here. This is so toxic what you're seeing.
What we went through was so publicly humiliating and embarrassing.
Good.
But we look at it as like everything happens for a reason and everything is just like it's supposed to be.
My God, I can't believe I'm watching this. I can't believe that he just said that. This was supposed to happen by whose design? God? Joseph Smith? Jesus? By what design? You're a effing Mormon, a Bible-believing Mormon, and you're going to sit here and say this is all by design? So people who sin, they have no choice in the sin that they do, right? That it's all by design. This was going to happen no matter what. Is that what you told your wife to convince her? Because if that's what you told her, that's a GD lie. That's a damned lie. No, it wasn't going to happen. You have a choice to make. Okay, this isn't like alcoholism and drug abuse, okay? Everybody, this is a person making a choice to go out on his wife and get something that he couldn't get from his wife.
So that maybe in turn we can share a message of how you can overcome these things. Because
did he really just say, I had to cheat on my wife so that we can make videos raising awareness on cheating on your wife to show you how to overcome this? Are you telling me this was by design? Are you out of your mind, Shaycarl, for saying something so stupid? With the silver lining here is that we told people how to overcome this stuff. So it's a good thing that it happened. What are we listening to, everybody? Oh my God, why is this not a bigger deal? Why is this not a bigger deal?
We were close to divorce after this all happened. I mean, there was lawyers involved.
Yeah, should have divorced his ass because he still doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Like she left the house.
Who got the maker money?
Oh my gosh.
She'll get the maker money. Funny jokes. Let's laugh off this crazy awkward moment. Ha ha ha! My eyes are sad.
You can have the kids. You
I
can
just
have
want the
house.
dog.
I want the maker money.
I want the dog. That's all I care about. I want Zeke.
So
This is not funny, everybody. This is not joke worthy. This isn't funny, laughing moments. They're literally taking this moment, diminishing it down to a punchline. It's disgusting. Because they don't want to add weight to it. They don't want to tell you that it was actually bad. They think it's just, Roman actually thinks this is not a big deal, everybody. That's victim blaming.
it was that bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you
And
moved
Why is Lips over there even trying to talk?
I feel like I'm getting real personal here, but
Well,
You
we're gonna
think?
go down
on the
this-
side, on the side of this podcast has already shown an incredible amount of bad stories based on alcohol. Almost all of them have been based around alcohol.
Oh yeah, it's poison.
Legal poison.
Yeah.
Promoted poison.
Promoted.
We promote
Oh yeah,
alcohol.
more than
Totally.
anything.
More than
I agree with him on this. Mom wine culture, dad's drinking beers after work. This argument I get for so many people, especially with the My Night thing. I went to my Facebook and looked at all the hate comments because it's awesome. But they're all like, so what? If a dad came home and drank a beer, you don't complain about that? Okay, stop being stupid. Yes, if you are the sole caretaker of your child and you are drinking, you have to drink to cope. That's dangerous and wrong. Don't. So wine culture, beer culture, alcohol culture, it's garbage. And thank God it's actually diminishing. So is smoking, everything else. Not drugs. Drugs are like on the rise. But like it is a poison. And I do agree with him. And that social media influencers, like even Doherty Dozen and Maya Knight and all these big ones, it's like all about White Claws and drinking wine and partying and all that stuff. Everybody seems to think that this is okay. But what you're not realizing is that there are people who cannot deal with that. And if you're putting that in their face every 2 seconds, that's not going to help people. I mean, you're an adult, do what you got to do, consume what you want, but don't forget you're an influencer.
anything.
You're weird if you don't drink. Right?
So
Yeah.
was it more about these messages on your end, or was it more about the drinking?
Nah, it's about the messages.
Well,
She knew he was an alcoholic.
I think it's just a combination.
Just be truthful here, Colette. I think that's your name. Just be truthful. You have an opportunity to be truthful here. But what happened here is she's embarrassed that she's lost her dignity. because she's stuck with a guy who did something like this. After living a fake life and making millions doing the whole thing and exploiting your children. What she's doing here is like the walk of shame. And she has an opportunity here to come out and say, F this. This is the truth of it all. Just be real here. You had an opportunity to be real and you weren't. Well, I think it's just maybe had a bad day, so it's forgiven.
You know, it's hard. It's hard to watch somebody you love struggle with something and then to have them do things that you know is not in their nature. Like, I know that's not who he is.
Stop saying this. Stop making excuses, because it is who he is. Because he did the thing. I am so sick and tired of hearing people say this stuff, make excuses, because I grew up with a parent who did these types of, I didn't mean to do that, and I didn't mean to, and you hear it all. That's not me. It is you. Is it you who did the thing? If the answer is yes, then it's you. Right?
And that's kind of what has kept me solid in our relationship. Not solid, it hasn't been solid forever, but like the foundation that we have is solid. And I know that's not who he is. And I know that when alcohol became a thing for him, that was rough. I mean, it was rough in itself. And I think people, we vlogged and we would, show our lives, but we're not going to show all the crap.
Why would we show you all the crap? We have to lie about who we are so you can see that we're amazing. That's it, guys. Right there. Another admission. None of the things that you watch on family vlogs are real. It is likely all made up. All of it. The interactions with children, the laughing, the fun, all that kind of stuff. It's fake. All of it's likely done in multiple takes. If you see a kid doing something kind of funny, it's because the camera was turned on. Do that again. Right? This is it. We're not going to show you all the bad stuff because we have an image to uphold and we have money to make.
We're not going to show the major struggles that we face. And in the beginning, it wasn't a huge problem. But when it became a problem, now the internet knows. And it was almost like, for me, we had kind of been struggling for a few years. And not enough that it was like, oh, there's horrible things happening. But it was just like, oh, there's this. She's
diminishing that too. So yeah, they were struggling. The only reason that Shaycarl went and did that stuff is likely because he thought maybe the marriage was over anyway. Right? That's not an excuse for him. Or he's like, hey, we're struggling. Maybe there's a dead bedroom, whatever the case may be. There's never an excuse, I'm saying. Whatever the case may be. And then he just went and did the thing because he felt justified in his heart. Right? Well, she's not going to do the thing I want. Justify my heart. Right? Or she's not going to do this or that, or we're on the rocks, or whatever the case may be. But there's never going to be an excuse. If you have that much money, man, you can afford the best therapist in the world. So
this dynamic
little
that
distance,
isn't, little distance, and that naturally made it like explode. But
it was like the cherry on the
it's a gift of Christ.
Is it a cherry? Because a cherry is a nice thing. It's a cherry on top of the shit, more like a pile of dog shit on the top of your shit milkshake.
Yeah,
that's what. I've been through a lot of therapy, and I participate in Al-Anon, which is a recovery group for those that have loved ones that are addicted to substance. And it's been kind of a terrifying but beautiful process.
Again, she's just glossing over the cheating. She's like the alcoholism. Because she feels ashamed of it too. Because she's back with the guy. Imagine her friend circle. And people are like, well, yeah, it's okay. It's a shameful thing because she can have an opportunity here to empower a lot of people who have been wronged to say, hey, have you been wronged? You can forgive, sure. But after hearing what we just heard, you forgave that guy who just diminished it in front of your face on a effing podcast with how many views? Let's look. Oh, here, Shaycarl. The 519,000 views. You sat there and you talked about how your husband's, it's alcohol. And you have an opportunity here. And I know that sounds like I'm victim blaming to a degree. I'm like, oh my God, you have this opportunity to tell other people, but you just literally just let them shit on you.
For both of us. Like the things that I've learned and gained from this whole thing, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but I wouldn't take it back.
Yeah, that's amazing. Incredibly inspiring.
I can't believe that he still said, it's all happens for a reason. So maybe we can help people navigate this. Oh my God. Hey, babe, I have to cheat on you so that we can use content to tell people how to overcome it. Okay? Is that cool with you? All right, I'll do
it. In a world full of divorce. That you can actually teamwork it. Through it. Our only real problems was alcohol. That's it.
It's the only time we would fight or argue.
It's been about 3 years, but yeah, we were trying to just anything to better our home, our family, and alcohol was at the top of the list. And it's so hard to admit it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
Well, there's so much shame wrapped up in, alcohol.
I need to point this out too, just real quick, because I'm looking. But he started reposting again, like almost daily. And for someone who's 4.8 million subscribers and one of the big OGs, they're only getting like 50,000, 75,000 views, 53,000. First day school makeup. They're not really changing anything about what they did, and nobody's tuning in anymore. Like, they are still making good money, but they don't need the money, first of all. They're just continuing to do it, but they don't make a lot of money anymore. So really interesting to see that they have fallen. It's a Charles Trippy. They went to Trippy's.
Squat.
Yeah. Actually, I like Trippy, so that sucks.
You're an alcoholic. It's like, oh, there's so much shame wrapped in alcohol, which is so weird. It's such a contrast between our society. Everybody drinks.
Everyone
if you don't
has
drink,
fun.
you're weird.
Right.
There's
So
all the
weird.
commercials.
No.
Where's the drinks? Cocktail hour.
Yeah.
Why don't you drink? You know, like, are you?
No, there's a thing called, look, you can't separate this, but there's a thing called social drinking, and then there's a thing called getting inebriated and being an alcoholic. There's a big difference. Nobody likes alcoholics, specifically the kids that they're raising, okay? That's dangerous. Drinking is normal if you can do it socially and within, without going too far. Sounds like you can't. And he's making excuses for it. He's making excuses.
What are you, Mormon or something?
Yeah,
You know, it's
something
like
wrong with
all that kind of stuff. And then the second that you're addicted to this thing that is created to addict you to it, you're a horrible person.
Oh my God, did he just say that? Did he just blame other people for his own shit? Oh my God.
It's like, do this. Why don't you drink? Do this. Watch this commercial. Go to this thing. What? You have a problem with this?
No, the same people telling you, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you partying like me? Are those people who do that because they want to feel like you do it. Like the My Night. I'm going to go back to My Night because she's always my benchmark for this type of situation. Those moms who like what she does and see how much she drinks and everything, they likely do that same thing. So they're like, oh, I'm glad that you do that same thing, right? They're not the same people who, when you fall, are going to say, oh, you're such a loser. No, they're going to be like, oh, they're going to stand up for you because they need to feel good about it themselves. So he's wrong about that. Those people who call you out later weren't the ones who were egging you on to do it. That's a lie.
Right?
What is your ew?
That's very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you want to create a demon.
Awkward!
once you're a demon, they don't. Yeah.
Again, we're not worried about the alcoholism. We wanted to, you talked about the right thing, the elephant in the room, which was the cheating. Then they switched it to alcoholism, which is a much more palatable thing to deal with in the world because it's a lot of alcoholics. You're going to have, I feel sorry for you. You're going to support. Great. Yeah. But cheaters don't get the same amount of support. They just pivoted really hard into the alcoholism and just forgot all about this other thing. That's really nice.
I mean, alcohol is poison. And listen, I get it. People like,
Very convenient. He feels a lot better. He's not shaking in his voice now talking about being an alcoholic, right? He's glad they've moved on from here.
well, I like to have some red wine with dinner. Okay, sure, fine. But just know and at least be willing to say, like, this is actual poison.
He's literally blaming other people and alcohol, everything. And he's switched on to being like angry about all this stuff when he's the one who partook in it. And then again, they switch the subject real quick.
This will make you unhealthy. This will make you make bad decisions, say things you don't mean to say. There's story upon story. It's a tale as old as time of things that people have done they regret while they were drunk.
Yeah, and it's crazy if you talk the way we're talking right now.
Okay. So let's move on then. Great. Yeah, you did it when you're drunk. Okay. Not a big deal.
We're just old and boring. We're just old and
Dads.
boring, bro. Dads.
Yes.
Dads who are assholes. Nice.
But the truth hurts.
Well, it doesn't hurt. It sets you free, but it does hurt in a sense. But it's like, and there's no judgment. I'm not saying this like if you drink, you're a bad person, obviously, because I've drank
Sounds like what you said.
plenty. And
I say this too, though. I think that if you drink and you can't cope without drinking, I mean, you're not a bad person per se, but you really need to make better choices for your kids, especially if you're the sole caretaker of your child. Yeah, you need to be a better person.
you know,
Have you kicked alcohol?
I will struggle with alcohol my whole life.
Really?
I mean,
So he hasn't.
I go to AA. We go to this Al-Anon meeting together. As they say in AA, don't drink today. Just focus on today.
Get through a day at a time.
It's a day at a time. Because I have a
Again, look at the pivot, man. Wow. So they talked about it for like 5 seconds, and in that 5 seconds, he literally blamed everything and then said, "Hey, well, we show people how to overcome it on our channel." Oh my God.
Very addictive personality. It's like, if I run marathons, I'm going to run 5 marathons. I'm going to qualify for the Boston Marathon. If I'm going to drink alcohol, I'm going to drink, it's like...
I'm going to lose.
I'm the same. I mean, I can see a lot of myself in Shaycarl, which sucks to say, but I would never do this to my family. But I'm the same way. Very addictive personality. If I'm going to do something, I'm ultra competitive in doing that. That's why I don't touch alcohol. I won't touch drugs. And dropping soda was a huge deal in my life. Huge, huge deal. And so these are some things that I will just... There are some things because I know that about myself, which is the reason why I won't engage in those types of behaviors. I'll try not to anyway, right? I will never touch alcohol. Never take a sip just to see. It's disgusting, but I'll never drink, right? I'll never be that person because I know that I won't be able to stop because I'm ultra competitive in everything I do. I play pickleball and I'm the most competitive person out there.
Wait, I'm going to lose 100 pounds.
I'm going to lose 112 pounds. It's like,
Yep.
I need to find this middle ground in my life where it's like I can just be steady because I can be very polarizing.
Yeah, is anybody in your family, dad, mom, anybody?
No, none of my, even the next generation. But what I know is that my great grandparents drank a lot, and from what I hear, it's like
Okay, stop. They're just gonna gloss over. I'm gonna continue this tomorrow just because they're just gonna keep talking about this, and we'll just continue it because I don't want to give him that. That sucks. That he just got away with it like that. This is insanity, everybody. This is family vlogging in a nutshell right here, what you're seeing. It's a very interesting podcast to listen to in the fact that they're showing you how the sausage is made. But he just got away with that and Colette kind of let him. And Roman Atwood is just, buddy, no problem, bro. Bro hugging him all the way through this excuse like it's not a big deal. Unbelievable. So, everybody take a deep breath. Very interesting, very, very interesting. So I'm glad you guys are here hanging out with me. I really appreciate you being here. Make sure you like and subscribe to other things. Come back tomorrow. I'll finish this video, hopefully. I'm not even halfway through, but we'll see how far we get. I'll really try my best because I don't like doing huge, super uber long videos just because people lose interest. So tomorrow we'll get back at it and we'll continue. So I will see you then.